Wright and the fellas, and Jenna Wolf. And he had his theory years ago. He said, you walk around New York City, it was the crowded bar theory. He said, nobody wants to walk into an empty bar. You're with your girl, you're with buddies. There's no juice, there's no energy. He said, if I owned a bar, I would have a curtain. And on slow nights, I would close the curtain, shrink the bar to make it look more crowded. And then as people poured in, because people want to be part of momentum, they want to be part of a party. They want energy. They want juice. And one of the things that you're seeing like Tampa do is that all of a sudden they created juice. They created momentum. Oh, here comes Brady and Gronk and Leonard Fournette. People want to be part of that. Athletes want to be part of that. Matt Stafford chose the Rams because he didn't feel the juice or the energy with New England. He said, I don't want to go to New England. I want to go to the Rams. They're deal makers. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, they're deal makers. Sometimes you have to create momentum because people want to be part of cool things. So J.J. Watt is now on the market. He gave up $17 million. I'm done. Green Bay is where he should go. I don't know if it's the best schematic fit, but I know that Green Bay needs to create momentum. They're like a bar stool missing a leg. There's 3 ways you can create great teams. Tampa used all of them. You can draft, and then there's trades, and then there's free agency. But we know Green Bay always sounds interested, and they say they're interested, but the Packers' history tells you they'll build through the draft. They're the bar stool missing a leg. You can't have Favre and Rodgers for 25 years and 2 Super Bowls. And the reason is they got to create some momentum here and go for it. And if you got to overpay a little, just do it. The Rams are aggressive. Seattle's aggressive. The Saints are aggressive. Tampa Bay's aggressive. Jerry Jones is aggressive. Philadelphia, sometimes to a fault, has been aggressive. You're passive. Even in your draft last year, Tampa's draft was they went and got a rookie safety and Tristan Wirfs, and it was a now draft. Let's get players now and win now. And Tampa got a quarterback who won't play and a running back because our running backs are going to be free agent in 1 year. It was a later draft. It's time to do stuff now. It's time to create Green Bay some momentum where talented, cool people want to be part of it. Take the Dockers off. Dip into your 401k. Green Bay does so many things right. They live below their means. They put money away. Sometimes you got to go on a cruise you can't afford. You got to book first-class tickets to London way over your budget. You got to live a little. I was just talking to a friend the other day. He's taking his family to Hawaii. He goes, we spent way too much North Shore of Hawaii for the house. I said, no, you didn't. I said, what you don't want to do is get there and look at the family that's no better than you, and they're on the beach and you're 7 rows back. That's a lousy vacation. Nobody ever vacations on the beach in Hawaii and goes, you know, I could have saved yeah, the kids are surfing. I got a luau. I could have saved $400. Nobody thinks that. Go for it. You'll figure out a way to make it work. J.J. Watt is perfect for the Packers. He does fit in need. And remember, Aaron Rodgers now is 37. He's not interested in you drafting later players. He wants what Tom's getting, now players, in the draft and in free agency. Gronk doesn't have much left, but he had enough left to make a big catch in the Super Bowl. I think you owe it to Aaron. You owe it to now. I think you have to, symbolically it matters. Motivationally it matters. Be cool. Be the cool bar. Don't walk past Green Bay and always feel like, yeah, not a lot of juice. It's a well-run bar. The drinks are solid. They make enough money to sustain themselves for 20 years. Don't you want to be the bar once in a while where the party's going on? Go get J.J. Watt. Okay, he's a Hall of Fame lock. He's made his money. He wants to play there. A couple years ago, Peter King was interviewing him. They had these inter-squad games. The Texans and Green Bay were going to play like a game a couple days later, a preseason game or something, and they had an inter-squad practice. Here was J.J. Watt, Wisconsin kid, talking about it.
I don't get overly emotional for too many things, and today was one of them. I mean, I literally have looked through these fences as a kid and watched practice, watched Brett Favre practice. I've seen the bike tradition. I've stood outside the gates by the players' lot and tried to get autographs. So for me, this was literally a dream that I've had since I was a little kid. And so to be able to walk out on these practice fields and play in the shadows of Lambeau Field, it was pretty special.
He's a Packer. By the way, PFF, top 7 at his position in the NFL. Every year he's been in the NFL, he's been top 10 at his position. He's had some injuries. He's kind of expensive, but here's the reality. PFF, 7th best player at his position. Go get him. Make it happen. Create some momentum. Please. Have that third leg to the bar stool just once. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, the Eagles are still trying to work out a trade for Carson Wentz, but they're not getting the type of deal that they hoped for. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer, a trade hasn't happened yet because the team has not been offered a first-round pick. Now, according to Ron Jaworski, the Colts offered a pair of second-round picks with the possibility of an additional third or fourth-round pick down the road. So the Eagles are finding themselves in kind of a predicaments with this Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation. Now, obviously, Indy is the preferred location for Carson Wentz. That's right, where he'd like to go. Frank Reich is there. He had his best years with Frank Reich. And I think it's a better fit for Carson Wentz. Obviously, everything that's happening in Philadelphia is a bit dysfunctional, as we know from all the stories, but also the media is going to treat him differently. It's a more comfortable situation. They're ready to win right now. It's actually the best move, I think, for both teams, but Philadelphia is trying to hold out for the best deal for the Eagles.
Listen, if you get 2 seconds and a third or a fourth, if you trust Jalen Hurts, who was in brief duty pretty impressive, then just go for it. This is, again, Carson Wentz wants out. It's not perfect. He's very expensive. Listen, you don't know if he's ever going to recover. If he doesn't go to Indianapolis with Frank Reich and he goes to Chicago with Matt Nagy and it doesn't work, then you're going to look back and go, we got 2 seconds and a third and a fourth, 3-4 potential starters. So to me, this situation is one, you're not going to have a happy ending. Do the best you can, move on, start over. Joy, we have seen franchises, multiple franchises over the last 4 or 5 years. You move on at quarterback. There's a bounty of young talent at quarterback. You got a kid, Jalen Hurts, who's going to get better, not worse. Just get it done. Move forward. This thing is it's just hanging over the franchise in Philadelphia.
No, I agree. They're being a bit greedy. And you know how I feel about draft picks anyway. So do a good job in the draft. 2 second-round picks is a healthy deal. You already have your quarterback in waiting in Jalen Hurts. So if you didn't have a quarterback and for whatever reason things had gotten so bad that you needed to move off of Carson Wentz, then I would understand you holding out for a first rounder because you don't have a replacement, but you have Jalen Hurts. To your point, he is very